welcome back to another episode of the Self-Made Podcast. I'm your host, Chloe Trca, and in today's episode, it's just going to be a little solo episode. Many of you guys were messaging me and telling me about how much you loved the episode with my brothers, so I definitely think I'll have them on more often, as much as I can. It's hard because Anthony lives in Iowa and my brother Jake and I live here in Arizona, but we can definitely do like a Zoom call with Anthony. So if you guys want that, let me know. But yeah, I loved all the love and the support and the messages. It means the world, and I love seeing you guys like going on your little hot girl walks, listening to my podcast. It's so cool, just because that's what I do. Like, I love doing that, and it makes me so happy. But anyway, this week we're going to be talking about why I chose to do the 75 hard. So first off, I just want to explain what the 75 hard is. If you don't know what it is, I feel like most of you may, but it's a challenge that was created by Andy Frisella. I always forget it. Literally in the last episode, Anthony and I talked about Andy. Andy Frisella, he is the founder of First Form, which is like a supplement company, huge supplement company, but he started this challenge, the 75 hard. And so it's 75 days straight, and there's like rules. And essentially it's not a weight loss challenge. It's not a fitness challenge. It's a mindset challenge. It's a mental toughness challenge. And I think a lot of people forget that. Like, the reason I'm doing this is to become more mentally tough and to create habits and to force myself to do things I don't necessarily want to do and get used to being uncomfortable and just having to do something. But what it is for 75 days straight, and if you miss one of these like rules, you have to restart. So it's super disciplinary. Like, you have to hit every single mark. But it's 2 45-minute workouts a day, and one has to be outdoors. And I think that's the trickiest part, is the outdoor portion of the 2 workouts, especially if you live, like when I was living in Iowa, like during the winter, that would be really hard because it's freezing outside. So you have to go on an outdoor walk in the winter. You'd have to go run, like you'd have to do something. So I'm very blessed living here in Arizona, where it's beautiful and it's warm and it's sunny, even now in January. So I do think I have an advantage to that in that area. And then the other one's a 45-minute workout, and it could be indoor, it can be whatever. And I was honestly, I'll get into actually why I was nervous later on. The next rule is you have to drink a gallon of water a day, which is one thing I really need to get better at. Like, I'm not good at drinking water. I've said it many times before. Like, I don't love the taste of water. So it was always a struggle for me to like want to drink. And I know how important it is for like your overall health and just how much it benefits me and like how I feel energy wise. Like, water is so important. So I like that effect because it's a habit that I need to force myself to do, and it's definitely helping. And then you have to take a progress photo every day, which I pretty much take gym photos every single day anyway, so that's easy. And then you have to read 10 pages of a book every day. I like that because I've done this, I would say every single one of these pieces in the challenge I already do. I just don't always do every single one of them every single day. And so I like it because it's making me feel so productive. But anyway, read 10 pages of a book every day, and then no alcohol. And that's pretty easy for me because I don't drink alcohol. And I think that's all the rules. The 2 workouts, a gallon of water a day, a progress photo, read 10 pages, no alcohol, 75 days straight. And I decided to actually add to the 75 hard because those things are easy for me. I honestly didn't think that would be enough of a challenge, and I wanted to use this as a way for me to create the habits that I want to put into my life and things that are harder for me to like hold myself accountable for. And so I added just a few things, and they're nothing crazy, but I added a cold plunge every single day. So Jake got like one of those cold pods for Christmas. It's just a little inflatable like ice bath, and I forced myself to do that every single day. And that was probably, I think that's the hardest part of this challenge so far, because going into it, you know, you're gonna be like so uncomfortable. And then the other 2 things I added was I want to read the Bible once a day. And for this rule, I don't have like a set like 10 pages, because if you have read a Bible, you know how like dense a page of the Bible is. Like, it's hard to like read. Like, it takes a lot. Like, it didn't really set a rule, but then I actually realized that there are like cool little guides you can follow and plans, and so I decided to follow a Bible in a year plan. So I found it on Pinterest, but actually one of my followers messaged me and said her aunt created one, and I think I'm gonna switch over to that one because she said the guide that her aunt created, because it literally gives you like what chapters to read which day, and then from January 1st to December 31st you'll finish the entire Bible, which is so cool because I think being able to read the Bible is like amazing, and it's something I want to do in my life. So this is like the perfect opportunity to kind of get into that and to do that. But anyway, her aunt created a guide for a Bible in the year, and it bounces back and forth, she was saying, between the Old Testament and the New Testament, so you don't get kind of like bored with it. And it takes Sundays off because you're in church. And so I'll probably still read the Bible, I guess, a little bit, but also I'm in church, and so I'll probably just bring my Bible to church and count that as my reading. But that's one of my rules. And then my other 2 rules are, oh yeah, like I said, the ice bath, and then the other one is journaling every day, because for me, journaling is such a good way for me to like express my thoughts and my feelings, and just, I feel like if you're one to like think a lot and overthink and just a lot of, I don't know, I'm a very extroverted person with my close friends, but here, like, Taylor, my best friend, isn't here, so I can't just like ramble to her 24/7. So I find it almost like healthy to like journal and just like write out my thoughts. And it's honestly really cool because you can look back on your old journal entries. I did this before because I used to journal like every single day. I was really good about it probably a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I did it when I was kind of in my rut with like fitness and all that stuff. It was over a summer. But I remember journaling, and then when I was kind of out of my rut, I opened up my journal and I like read my old entries, and it was just really cool to like see the growth in myself. And it made me so like, it gave me a lot of gratitude, and I just like was one of those moments where you do realize you're making progress, even when it feels like maybe you're not necessarily making progress, you really are. So I think that's why I also like journaling. But since I started this, and I'm only on day 3 of the 75 hard, but every day I've been journaling, I've actually been like praying as I journal. Like I write, I pray for da 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 da, and then I journal that. Because journaling for me has always just been like, I just pretty much mind like dump everything, like whatever's going through my mind, I just write it out, how I'm feeling for the day, what I'm anxious about, what I'm stressed about, what I'm happy about. Like that's kind of what I was used to journaling about, and now I pretty much just pray. And that's something I need to be better about too, is praying. And I pray before bed, I pray during the day. Like you can never pray enough, and that's something I've learned too. So I just think it's a cool like different avenue for me to pray, is literally just like physically handwriting my prayers, I guess. And again, it's something really cool to like look back on and just see maybe in like a year or a month or a week or something that my prayers do like come to life, you know. But like my faith has been like such a huge factor in my life recently, so I feel like this challenge is really cool because I've been able to implement that also into like my lifestyle and wellness and discipline and all of that. Because every single one of these rules within the 75 hard is like benefiting me for like just bettering myself. And I feel like I said, I'm only on day 3, but like it has not been hard at all. I don't know, obviously it's 3 days in, I'm obviously still motivated and excited about it, but like there are things that I do every single day already. Like nothing's new besides the cold plunge, and that is the hardest part for sure. But again, it's like a 30 seconds. Like I don't stay in there for minutes, and maybe I'll extend the time. Like today I was in there for probably a minute, and I might over time make myself sit in there longer, but it's like just knowing every day I have to do that. It's tough, but then again, I love, like, I start every single morning now. I get my coffee and I journal, and then I do my Bible reading, and then I read my book, and I have like highlighters and stuff, and I take notes, and I actually get into the book that I'm reading. It's so good. It's called The Power to Change, and it's so good if you're wanting to change your habits. And like this, just like it really fits like with what I'm doing so well. So it's like I'm able to apply it all so much. And at the beginning of the year, it's just like such a fun time. Like I think New Year's might be my favorite holiday because it's just such a fun time to reflect and to like work on yourself, because I'm very like, I'm a self-improvement junkie. I love it. I love wellness. I love pushing myself, challenging myself, setting goals and stuff. That's kind of where I thrive, and that stuff makes me excited. So I think I just love New Year's because it's so fun to like see everyone else also doing that, and it's just like a fun time on social media. Like all the content is so inspiring and motivating, and everyone's just ready for a fresh start, and it's cool to see everyone like learn about different like goals and hear about different like ins and outs for people and all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, the book is so good because I didn't even realize I ordered this book, or I didn't order, I bought it at Target when I was back home for Christmas. I was Christmas shopping for my family, and I saw the book in the book section at Target, and I was like, like that looks really good. And so I just picked it up, I didn't even read the inside. I'm like, it just grabbed my attention, grabbed it, didn't even think about it. And then when I had this challenge, I'm like, what book am I gonna read? I'm like, oh my gosh, I have that book, I'll open it up. And I had no idea the author's a pastor. Like it is amazing. His name's Craig. I have the book linked in my Amazon storefront if you want to like check it out. I could not recommend it more. It is amazing because I would say I've never read Atomic Habits, but I've heard so much about it. I feel like I've read it, but I would say it's that, but the Christian version. He ties everything back to like a biblical meaning and a biblical reason. Like I am, it is absolutely crazy. Like the biggest underlining message, me like going on a tangent about this book, but I want to share with you guys because it's so good. The main like theme and message so far, I'm on like 1.7 of the book, like chapter. I'm like not even to section 2. But it's about how you have to, it's the who before the do. And at first I'm like, what? But it's like when you need to make a change in your life, you have to figure out like who you are and why you want to do that for you before you actually go and do it. And like if there's an issue, because everything you want to change is usually because it's an issue in your life. So like there's like an opposite to like the two things. Like if you want to quit drinking, it's probably because you have a drinking problem, you know what I'm saying? Or it's like something unhealthy, or I don't know, any habit you're trying to kill is usually like a negative in your life. So it's first kind of, it's the, what he tries to explain is how you need to figure out why that's an issue for you and like dig deeper. It's like he said, if you don't figure out the who before the do, it's like pulling out the weed without getting the roots. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. But then he ties it to like literal verses in the Bible, and it like shows in the Bible how he's right and how it's real and how that's what God was trying to teach us too. And so it just makes so much sense to me, and it's really like empowering and inspiring because it gives me a reason for change other than just like me wanting to change. It makes me want to change because of like God too and my faith. And so yeah, I could talk about it forever. I'm sure I'll talk about it again in future podcasts as I read more of the book, but it is so good. Like I go highlight crazy. I love it. I think that's a really good way to also read the Bible. Like I highlight passages in the Bible. I have all my highlighters and they all have different like meanings and colors. Like when I highlight blue, it's like a verse in the Bible. And then when I highlight pink, it's like oh, that's a really good like statement. And then the orange is, it's, if you actually pay attention to how authors write, it's like they back up, what's the term when you were in English? Like they teach you how to write like this, but they make a claim and then you back it up. And so the pink's like the claim, and then the orange is like the proof to the claim, you know? And then the yellow is just different quotes that I like want to remember and stuff. But it's so good, and it makes me like actually learn. Like I feel like I'm back in school, like studying and learning and stuff. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend if you like read those self-help books to like highlight and journal and write in them and stuff, like actually learn from them and get a lot out of them rather than just like reading the words, because it's easy to just read and not really obtain much, because I feel like that's what happens to me sometimes. But anyway, I kind of want to get back on track about talking about the 75 hard. So it's been something I've wanted to do for years. Like this isn't anything new. I first learned about it probably when I first came to know who Andy Frisella was, and I was like I used to listen to his podcast like every single day. Like he's a really, really good podcast. I don't listen to him as much anymore, but I was genuinely like really inspired by this man because I love his mindset. And so I decided to like, I looked into it. I was gonna have my parents do it. I was gonna try it, and then I never did just because I always was kind of nervous about the working out. Like rest is so important, and I want to preface that like recovery and rest is like so huge, and if you don't rest, it's not good. So I've never wanted to do the 75 hard because I'm like, I want to rest my body. But I realized I'm like, I walk every single day anyways, so I'm gonna twice a week probably just do 2 walks or a bike ride and a walk. It doesn't have to be intense, or a hike. Like it doesn't have to be a run, it doesn't have to be a lift, it doesn't have to be a HIIT workout. Like it doesn't have to be something intense. But getting outside and going on a walk this morning, that's what I did. Today's a recovery day actually, and then I'm gonna either go on a walk tonight, or me and Jake are gonna go on a little bike ride. I'm like, those are low intensity things to do and get extra movement in, and just like I just love the structure of this challenge, because every single day I'm like, okay, like this is my day, where am I gonna fit my 2 workouts in? How am I gonna fit them in? You have to like kind of look ahead to the weather and be like, okay, when am I gonna do the outdoor workout? Like, is this good for this? And it gives me so much structure, and I miss that. I love having something to work towards, and that's why I love so much training for my half marathon, because it gave me so much like drive and motivation, I guess, like in the sense of the gym. And I miss that. That's what I was lacking for a while, and it helped so much. So it's like now in my life, I feel like I need that like direction and that guidance just from my day-to-day routine. I feel like it's a little hard when I work from home and I don't have a lot of places to be. Like I don't have a lot of like weekly to-dos or places I gotta be like every Tuesday or whatever. I don't know. I don't have a lot of that in my life right now, and I love routine. So I think that's why I love this challenge so much. But the other parts of this challenge that I think are so good is just the fact that it builds consistency and mental strength. Like I feel like everyone on social media almost too, it's like every time I scroll, I don't know if it's because I'm posting about my 75 hard experience, but like everyone's everyone's doing it. And I think it's amazing. And I honestly, it's like, I hate the content that I'm seeing that it's like, oh, everyone's doing the 75 hard. Like, what's the 75 hard? And it's not a trend. It's like actually a freaking challenge. And I think it's so cool that all these people are wanting to take initiative and take action and like do something for themselves. Like, I think it's amazing that all these people are doing it, and I love it. And I don't think it's stupid that everyone does it on January 1st. That's amazing. January 1st this year was on a Monday. Like, it was so cool. It's like the perfect day to start. And it makes me sad when I see all that content, like everyone like shaming it and like being like everyone's doing it. If I see another 75 hard video, whatever. But the one thing I do have an issue with, and my friend posted about this, Heather Grimes, and she said how she did the 75 hard in the past. I remember watching her journey like throughout it, and she was saying how it's a really common thing right now on social media to be like, everyone's posting, I'm doing the 75 hard except, and then they're like, well, they'll say like, I'm just not gonna go out to the bars, but I'm gonna drink alcohol, but just like at home. Like, you can't drink alcohol in the 75 hard. That's just part of it. Like, you can't make exceptions. It's like, if you're doing that, you're just like setting rules for yourself that you're following. You're not doing the 75 hard. And so for me, even like, I guess I'm doing 75 harder, but I'm still doing everything that fits it. I'm doing more. But I'm like, I don't hate it, because I don't hate really anything, but it does kind of bother me when people are like claiming that they're doing it, or they're turning it into like the 75 soft or the 30-day hard. It's just kind of funny to me, because it's like, that's not the challenge. The hard part of the challenge is to do it for 75 days. Like, I could probably do anything for 30 days. Like, that's a month, you know, it's 1 month. 75 days, like, it's month 2 that's gonna get freaking hard, where it's like the newness wears off, the funness wears off. You still have another month after that. Like, the middle meat of it, where it's like, that's where the transformation occurs. And that's why Andy Frisella created 75 days. Like, if I do this, I might do it for longer than 75 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might do it even more. Like, I don't know. I just think like, if you're trying to do 75 hard, don't like make an exception for yourself. Don't make it easier. Like, he created that for like the mental toughness and the challenge. And I think that's what a lot of us lack nowadays, is like self-control, which you have to have self-control with this. Oh, and I totally forgot, one of the rules is a diet. You have to follow like a diet. But like I've said on here, I intuitively, I don't follow diet. I don't like restriction, but I decided to, I like kind of evaluated like my diet, I guess, just in general of how I eat. And my biggest issue with eating in that, and like the thing that I have the most problems with, and that isn't the healthiest part of my diet, is my snacking and how I mindlessly snack. Like, I'll grab a box of like Annie's bunnies and I'll just snack on them and eat them mindlessly. Or like, I'll even cook food. Like, I'll cook beef and rice and veggies, and I won't even make a bowl. I'll just like kind of scoop out of the thing and eat it out of the like dish, and I don't get myself a serving. And that's not healthy. That's like something I've always done. I've always been a picker. I don't want to break that habit so bad, because I know it's not healthy. And so that's my diet. Like, that's the thing I'm choosing, is like you can do like anything with the diet part. And I think that's kind of why I like it, because you can kind of make it very unique to you. But like, one of my friends, Nikki Font, did the 75 hard, and she didn't go out to eat, because her and her boyfriend would always, or now fiance, but they would go out to restaurants and like eat out all the time, and she needed to kill that habit. So she's like created that as her like diet rule. And so my diet rule is just to not mindlessly snack. If I eat snacks, don't get me wrong, but I actually like get a serving out and I put it into a bowl, and like I eat my serving. And if I want 2 servings, I'll eat 2 servings, but I'm gonna like actually like portion it out, so I'm not eating so much and not realizing it, because that's like not healthy to like mindlessly eat. And it's crazy, because again, like I said, I've only been doing this for 3 days. And it's crazy how often I've like noticed that I naturally want to reach for something, like, oh, I just want a bite of those peanuts, or I just want a few of these goldfish, or oh, I just want a few of these. Or like, I was making my Ninja Creamy last night, and again, that's been like so helpful, because it's like, that's a full serving of my Ninja Creamy. I'm satisfied, I'm good, I got my sweet tooth, rather than like eating some Halo Top and then I want some like Annie's bunnies, like the dessert flavored ones, and then I want some like peanut butter, and then I want like, I don't pick around anymore. It's like, you have what you portion out and you eat it, and then you're done and you're satisfied. And it's training myself to be okay with that, because that was like an issue, like I said, I had. But I was making my Ninja Creamy last night, and I put like granola on it. I put this like chocolate cereal on it and peanut butter, and I almost grabbed it in the bag, and I was almost gonna start eating the granola as my creamy was like mixing, because if you made a Ninja Creamy, it is so, you have to be so patient with mixing that. Like, it's the longest 2 minutes ever. But I realized right when I was doing it, I'm like, oh, I can't, like, that's my rule. Like, I can't just pick like that. Like, I would have to get a dish and put it into the bowl, but I'm like, Chloe, wait 2 minutes and put it on your creamy. You're gonna be fine. And one, I did that and I felt so much like more mentally strong, and like I'm beating that like inner thought of being like, this is my weakness, this is my weak point. Like I didn't give in, and it's not that freaking hard. Like in the great scheme of things, like things really aren't that hard. We just mentally tell ourselves that they're hard, and we claim it as like a weakness of ours, and so we like identify with that, and it's like, oh, that's my weakness, that's hard for me. Like it really, just shut the bag, don't eat it. Like it literally is not that hard. And so anyway, I waited, I put the granola on top, I zipped it away, I put it away, and like I had my creamy, and it was perfect, it was fine. I got my granola fix in. Like it's just so, there's so many little things. It's like I already have this much to say about the challenge, and I'm 3 days in. I'm on day 3, or is it day 4? Maybe it's day 4. No, it's day 3. And like it's already made such an impact. So I definitely recommend, like even if you're listening to this now on Monday, so we're 7 days into the new year, start it today. Start it, like it doesn't have to be on January 1st. Like I was gonna start it just on a random day one time, but I honestly, me and Jake just randomly talked about it on New Year's Eve, and I was like, let's just do it, yeah. And then he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And so we wrote down our rules, and that's when I added like the extra few things. And I didn't even plan on doing this literally until New Year's Eve night. So just start it if you feel like it could benefit you. I think it's a really good challenge because, like I said, self-control and mental toughness, I think, is something that we lack in like our society nowadays. I think we make things way too simple, we make things way too easy, way too convenient, and we've lost that like power of like having to do things we're uncomfortable doing and do hard things, because there's always an easier way to do things. And I've talked about this a little bit before, but it's like one thing I'm really working on for myself that I know is like a weakness is patience and self-control, and those are things that are hard for everyone. They're not easy to obtain, and there's something I think I'll have to continue to work on for the rest of my life. But like this challenge is a perfect way to test that and to strengthen that and to like learn more about it. It's like I already have had these realizations of my habits and myself and my inner thoughts of like noticing my tendencies and having to like be stronger than them. So yeah, it's honestly made such a positive impact already, and I'm so excited. I'll definitely probably do like a mid like update, like when I'm like 30 some days in, and then I'll do one at the end to like recap and see how I feel. But if you guys ever have any questions on the challenge too, you can always DM me. But yeah, like I just, every little bit of the challenge is like benefiting me in a completely different way, but like for the best reason ever. Like the only thing I'm concerned about with this challenge is feeling like I'm overtraining and feeling like exhausted, but like walking really isn't that hard. Like I have to walk an hour and a half a day, but it's like that's probably my 10,000 steps, and that's what you should be getting in like during a healthy day. And it's low impact. It's literally walking. Like we walk everywhere as humans, you know? So that'll be good. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. I just think like, oh, sorry, I'm yawning. It's bigger than like what people I think typically view it as. And I think people view it as a weight loss challenge, and I think people view it as a fitness challenge, but that's literally not it at all. It's all about the mental toughness and having to do something consistently for 75 days and it being a plethora of things. It's not just one thing. It's pretty much every little bit of your lifestyle that you have to like kind of change and fix, and you're growing mentally, you're growing physically, you're growing like spiritually. Like there's so many things that benefit from this challenge, and I'm excited just because I really hope that all of these habits that I'm forming continue. Like I could see myself doing this challenge kind of forever. The only thing I probably would change is the 2 workouts a day if I think it's too much. But I'm just really excited because like I wanted to get outside more. I want to enjoy the Arizona weather. It's so easy to just stay inside all day, and like today me and Jake had to go on our morning walk outside, and it was nice to like get fresh air and get sunshine on my skin and like move my body, start the day off with movement, and like have to do it, because I'll go through phases where I do something for 2 weeks and then I end up going home and traveling somewhere, and then I get out of that routine and then I don't pick it back up. And it's like that's why I love this challenge, because I'm gonna have to like figure out how to fit it in no matter what, like when I'm traveling, when I'm not home, whatever. And it's all doable though. Like I said, like it's all manageable. Like no matter what, I can get outside somewhere and walk for 45 minutes. I can get a workout in somewhere. Like it can be a yoga flow workout, you know? It doesn't have to be like a gym strength training workout. It doesn't have to be a run. It can literally be like a yoga flow workout, and it can be a walk, you know? And you can do that from home. You can do that anywhere, anytime. And drinking water, you should do that anywhere, like any day. Eating, picking a diet, it's like it doesn't have to be a diet. It just has to be like literally pick one of your biggest flaws that you have within eating, and then, you know, like counteract it and create a good habit for it, and not let yourself do that bad habit, you know? And the cold plunge for me, that I'm excited though, just because again, the reason I like the cold plunge is not even really like the physical benefits of it. It does wake you up for the day. It gets you going. But I like it because, one, it's uncomfortable the whole time, and it's hard, and you know it's gonna suck. Like, it's not like the water gets warmer. Like, it's always gonna be cold, and so you have to like learn how to like train your mind to like expect the shock and the coldness and the uncomfortableness and withstand it. And two, I like it too just because it gets me like, might sound dumb, but like it gets me into my pajamas, and it gets me into like I have to put like swimsuit bottoms on or like a workout set and like to get wet, but then I have to change, and like it wakes you up and it gets you going, and like you kind of get ready for the day after that. Jake always does it first thing in the morning, and I give him props for him for doing that, because I usually do it after my first like workout of the day, because the amount of clothes I go through, I'm like, I work out twice a day now, and then I have my daily outfit, and then I have my cold plunge outfit. So I usually wear like whatever I worked out in for my first workout into the cold plunge. But I just like it because it gets me going after that. And then the journaling, journaling's been so good for me, like mentally, and like again, like prayer and the Bible is so good, and the book that I'm reading is just so good. Like, there's not a single thing about this challenge that I don't like I love it so much. And I just, every night I feel so accomplished and I feel so productive, and I think that's something I was kind of lacking, because with my job, it's like I can be progressing with social media so like high and low, and like it's kind of like a sales thing, and that it's not always like, I don't have specific things I have to do, so it's like feels hard to like almost feel accomplished. And I feel like this has helped me with that, because I do feel like I have a list of things I need to do, and I can do them and I get them done, and I feel like productive and good. So anyway, I could ramble about this probably forever, but all in all, I'm really excited about this journey, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I've been making TikToks and posting them, just like photos and stuff of the challenge. I might make videos and vlogs of it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna try to post one a day with it. And yeah, I'll definitely be updating you guys throughout it, and like on my stories on Instagram I talk about it a lot. So if you want to follow me on any of those socials, on TikTok, Instagram, it's just Chloe Trca. You guys probably already have me on there, possibly, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that's all I'm gonna chat about today. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love you so much, and we will chat in the next episode. Bye guys.